What's up, guys? It's Crash and Merry Battlefield Eve to everyone. We are less than 24 hours away from the launch of Battlefield 6 at the time of recording this. And man, if you think about it, it has been a ridiculous amount of time since we've had a good Battlefield launch. I'm very excited for it too. Even some of the good Battlefield games have had kind of troubling launches, but based on how the beta played relatively well, I think we are in for a treat tomorrow. We'll see how crazy the queues and stuff are. Hopefully those aren't too crazy, but we shall see. Anyway, over on X, the Battlefield.com X account posted everything that's going to be in the day one patch, what's coming out right off the rip with the Battlefield 6 update notes for 1.0.1. And I wanted to talk to you guys about those and also do you guys a little bit of a favor because there are 179 changes in this article, a massive amount of changes. And I took the ones out that I think are most important based on beta feedback, how the beta went, and what I heard a lot of you guys talking about. And let's talk about the major updates. There are a list of major ones right off the top that we're going to talk about, and then I kind of picked and chose some of the main ones. I might cover them kind of a little bit twice because they are so important, but let's get you guys this information, react to it a little bit, and then see down in the comments what you guys think of all these changes and get into the game tomorrow morning. So pretty cool, man. The major updates, the movement changes that everyone talked about that caused a giant stir on Twitter. I made a ton of people mad by saying I didn't mind the movement in the beta, you know, notwithstanding a lot of the clips that were going around was a movement exploit, which has thankfully been fixed as well, which was like an inertia exploit where jumping out of windows and stuff would propel you. That stuff has been fixed. But what they also did to the correct and like the movement itself, the actual programmed movement, they reduced the slide to jump momentum, they lowered jump height and increased in accuracy while firing airborne or sliding. So it's not going to be as fast a movement. Based on what I've seen from updated gameplay, it doesn't seem that different from the beta, in my opinion. Again, I think Battlefield, even how the movement was before, is still mostly about positioning and being in a good spot. Weapon handling has been rebalanced through general recoil tuning and adjustments to ensure more consistent gunplay. There's a lot to be interpreted there. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with recoil, but we'll see how that plays out. A really big one is that rush and breakthrough layouts have been revised to deliver a better balance between attackers and defenders. So hopefully they took some of that feedback and fixed it because some of the flags were really difficult to attack. I'm also very interested to see how rush is improved because you guys know during the beta, I thought it was difficult to do some of the attacking because the defenders would spawn with a really short delay and really close to the objective. So some of those were hard, at least for me to push in my old age. Maps improved with better traversal, lighting adjustments, and overall performance upgrades. So a lot of the maps that we didn't get to play, we won't really have anything to compare to, but for the maps that were in the beta, we'll get to see how those were changes and adjusted, and performance upgrades are always good. I was pretty impressed with how the game looked versus the optimization, so that's pretty good. And just before I go too much further, it's so nice to be talking and debating about things like this. Like everybody's talking about movement, closed weapon systems and stuff like that. If you just take like a high level view of everything, like a bird's eye view, it's so cool that we're talking about and debating about these things rather than like playing the 2042 beta and just being like, what is this? So anyway, it's cool to have Battlefield to the point where we can have these discussions and these debates, and I'm all here for it. UI and HUD have received a range of polished improvements for clear prompts, smoother navigation, and more accurate displays. That is really good. I'm really interested to see how the main screen UI is. I'm really tired of like the Hulu style thing with like all the thumbnails and stuff. I would much prefer a list so I don't have to go to as many screens to find what I want to. Settings and controls expanded with improvements across multiple areas. That will be cool because some of the categories that settings were in didn't make a lot of sense to me. Audio overhauled game-wide with clearer pings, refined weapons and vehicle sounds, and fixes for missing or delayed effects. Any kind of audio improvements are good. Sometimes in projects and games that are this massive, I often wonder if like audio can ever be perfect. I don't even know if that's technologically possible, but if they can get it better, I'm all for it. Netcode has been optimized to reduce desync, fast time to death, and instances of invisible damage. So that is something that is really important that I had a lot of. I saw a lot of people talking about that. Florian, one of the lead game designers, asked for clips of like those insta deaths where you'll, be fighting somebody and you instantly die. And then it says in the kill cam, you got shot 7 times, but it happened in like 2 frames in like milliseconds, where all those registered on the server and then got fed to your client and you insta died. There was a lot of that. I really hope, oftentimes first person shooter games talk about how they fix the netcode and stuff like that, and it's never perfect. I think that's another thing that developers can always chase and never get to, just from the inherent fact that I'm on my computer talking to a server. Someone is hundreds of miles away from me on their computer talking to a server, and we're talking about, you know, milliseconds and time to kill and stuff like that. There's always going to be inconsistency. So if they did some things to make that feel better, reduce some of those super bullets where you get shot 6 times instantly in your toast, would be so nice. So I went ahead and broke down some of the things that I think would be of interest to you guys. If you want to, again, if you want to go through the whole 179 things past the time until this thing launches in the morning, feel free to head over to the Battlefield.com X account and do that. They did fix, this is something I experienced, they fixed players remaining stuck in a down state after revival from a headshot, eliminating a beta bug that could end rounds prematurely. So I thought that was really good. They updated the parachute and skydiving physics for more fluid movement, making aerial insertions feel a little bit more fluid and realistic. The Dragon Revive can now be canceled more quickly. So like if something's coming, you hear somebody coming around the corner, you can get out of that revive, because nothing feels poopier. Well, things probably do, but it feels really poopy if you're trying to revive somebody, you hear someone coming and you can't get out of that animation and you want to try to fight the dude and you can't. So I get that. I'm excited to see how that plays out. With vehicles, a lot of people, I'm not a vehicle guy, but helicopters have gained more power and responsiveness, improving flight control and dodge potential against RPGs. They've increased the tank turret speed, enabling faster reactions in armored combat and shifting tank meta towards more aggressive play. The vehicle smoke countermeasures are more effective at breaking and spotting lock-ons. I think that's really good. There was a lot of like auto 3D spotting through scopes. We know some of the sniper feedback too. That auto 3D spotting is not going to be a thing. You're actually going to have to spot the people for your team, which is really good. This one's really interesting. It says navigation terrain avoidance enabled for surface to air missiles. And I guess this could keep like missiles from running into the ground and stuff like that. That's going to be something to keep our eye on to see how things are balanced. If it makes, you know, because like that's how helicopters dodge bullets, right? Is like try to get the missile to run into a mountain or a cliff or something like that. So seeing how that plays out is going to be really interesting and something to keep an eye on. Reduced rocket launcher blast damage against infantry, so you can't really cheese the ground blast radius around a corner. Repair tool overheats slightly faster, preventing vehicles from becoming like tanky. You guys know, if you had like 3 or 4 engineers hitting a tank with a repair tool, it was really tough to bring them down. The thermobaric grenade concussive effect has been shortened by almost half. There has been 2 zoom levels to the MAS 148 Glaive onto the stationary vehicles. That will be really cool. The recon drone flies faster with C4 but drains battery quicker, encouraging risk reward plays for explosive drone tactics. Can't wait to get more into some of that stuff. Big changes to the deploy beacon as well, limited to 1 per player, 4 per squad with self-destruct on excess, so you can't put a ton of deploy beacons out anymore. General recoil adjustments, so I don't know how these are going to play out. Again, I feel like this is one of the things where I'm in a little bit of a minority in the Battlefield community. They're talking about that they're going to be increasing spread on automatic weapon fire when ADS. In my opinion, I don't like spread because it's random, and I know you can tap fire. I know that's a skill thing. You can learn how to tap fire and stuff like that. I would much just rather there be I don't want to say more realistic because it doesn't really matter in an arcade game like this what's realistic, but for a player like visual feedback kind of mechanic, I would rather the reticle stay fixed to where my bullet goes and the gun just have more recoil. Again, tap firing would work, but I would just like a little bit more straightforward visual representation of where my bullet's going. If the gun has more recoil, I need to learn to control it, or if it's too random and side to side recoil, I need to learn how to tap fire, all that same stuff. I just want to know where my bullets are going and have that visual feedback. It can still be random where the bullets are going with some of the recoil, but I would just like to be able to see clearly where my red dot is bouncing. I think that would be really cool. If you guys played the beta, you got deleted from ridiculous distances by the M87A1 shotgun. So now it requires more pellets to kill, rewarding precise over widespread. So that is one way to fix that issue. I was kind of hoping they would maybe nerf the sling on assault where they could carry 2 primary weapons, because I think that's really strong to not really have a downside to running a shotgun. So we'll see how that plays out. Bolt action rifles now apply first shot boost to every shot, boosting sniper consistency. So I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. I didn't snipe a ton. I know a lot of you guys did, but I didn't really play that too much. So we'll see how that works out. Again, all rush, it's talking about maps and modes, all the rush and breakthrough layouts were changed. So that's going to be really good. Definitely needed. I'm excited to see how those play out. If we can get some closer matches, a little bit more 50-50 on us attack and defend. They fixed some of the spawn killing and exploits on Siege of Cairo and Iberian Offensive, cleaning up unfair advantage. So I'm guessing that's keeping people off the roofs. You guys know everyone was trying to get up on the roofs and there were some spawn points and some places you couldn't attack. So they got that handled and fixed. And they tried to improve the anti-air balance on Liberation Peak and traversal performance on Firestorm. So hopefully that will, help alleviate some of those pain points from the beta a little bit. UI and HUD has been changed a lot, which I think is definitely necessary. They added a warning. This is kind of interesting. They added a warning pop-up for XP loss when you quit a match, hopefully to keep people more in the game. Squad and friendly name tags now visibly indicate healing, resupply, or revive status, improving team awareness. I think that's really cool. The C4 UI displays place charges and distances to closest ones, aiding in better detonation timing. You get a little bit more of visual feedback where your C4 is at. Vehicle hit indicators and objective tied visuals are updated for clarity, reducing confusion in chaotic fights. I had some of that too, where it was tough to delineate between how much damage you did to a vehicle versus how many points you got for it. I had that kind of issue. So hopefully it makes that just a little bit more clear, and improved comma rows navigation and support for Southpaw layouts, making communication more accessible. I'm hoping for more overall improved comma rows things because it was a little bit janky. But anyway, guys, those are the ones that I thought kind of tied into the most beta feedback I saw out of the entire 179 179 change list. Those are the main ones that I thought correlated to beta feedback. So I wanted to get you guys the information in preparation for tomorrow's launch. Let's hope the movement feels good. Let's hope the recoil feels good. We got a little bit more balance in game modes. Man, I'm really excited to get in there. I'm really hoping that the audio is good and we have some good net code and hit reg and stuff like that. I'm hoping the biggest thing about tomorrow, honestly, man, it feels like the game is going to run really well, but I just don't know how they're going to handle the server load. But again, they did have a ton of people in the beta. They did have some really big queues, but the numbers went pretty fast. It seems like they kind of had a good chance. I mean, it was a free to play, all open beta. Download it and get in. So there were a ton of people on the beta and they handled it pretty well. No servers melted to the ground. There was a queue, but I think they have to do that to let people in as servers spin up instead of just hitting them really hard all at once. So man, I'm excited to see it. It's going to be awesome to take a look at the gauntlet mode. It's going to be exciting to take a look at Portal, see if we can build some cool modes. I would love to have some community Portal nights over on my twitch.tv/Crash8 stream. Guys, I know I wasn't able to cover this game as much as I did with Battlefield 2042 due to everything going on in my life, but I'm so thankful when I do get a chance to sit down and make a video because I do truly love it. I really like reading the comments and interacting with you guys. And if you made it to the end of the video, I can't thank you enough. You guys are a blessing, and I hope you have a great day, and see you on the battlefield.